You affirm that the testimony you're about to give before the committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you very much. As the old saying goes, for somebody as famous as you don't need any introduction, so I'm going to just introduce you as Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. But to once again, thank you for being here today, and we look forward to your testimony and answer to our questions. You may begin.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Feinstein, members of the committee, thank you for having this annual oversight hearing about the FBI. I know that sounds a little bit like someone saying they're looking forward to going to the dentist, but I really do mean it. I think oversight of the FBI, of all parts of government, but especially the one I'm lucky enough to lead, is essential. I think it was John Adams who wrote to Thomas Jefferson that power always thinks it has a great soul. The way you guard against that is having people ask hard questions, ask good questions and demand straightforward answers, and I promise you I will do my absolute best to give you that kind of answer today. I also appreciate the conversation I know we're going to have today and over the next few months about reauthorizing Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act that you mentioned, Mr. Chairman. This is a tool that is essential to the safety of this country. I did not say the same thing about the collection of telephone dialing information by the NSA. I think that's a useful tool. 702 is an essential tool, and if it goes away, we will be less safe as a country. And I mean that, and we'll be happy to talk more about that. Thank you for engaging on that so we can tell the American people why this matters so much and why we can't let it go away. As you know, the magic of the FBI that you oversee is its people. And we talk, as we should, a lot about our counterterrorism work, about our counterintelligence work, and I'm sure we'll talk about that today. But I thought I would just give you some idea of the work that's being done by those people all over the country, all over the world, every day, every night, all the time. And I pulled 3 cases that happened and were finished in the last month just to illustrate it. The first was something I know that you followed closely, the plague of threats against Jewish community centers that this country experienced in the first few months of this year. Children frightened, old people frightened, terrifying threats of bombs at Jewish institutions, especially the Jewish community centers. The entire FBI surged in response to that threat, working across all programs, all divisions, our technical wizards, using our vital international presence, and using our partnerships, especially with the Israeli National Police. We made that case, and the Israelis locked up the person behind those threats and stopped that terrifying plague against the Jewish community centers. Second case I wanted to mention is, all of you know what a botnet is. These are the zombie armies of computers that have been taken over by criminals, lashed together in order to do tremendous harm to innocent people. Last month, the FBI, working with our partners with the Spanish National Police, took down a botnet called the Kelios botnet and locked up the Russian hacker behind that botnet, who made a mistake that Russian criminals sometimes make of leaving Russia and visiting the beautiful city of Barcelona. And he's now in jail in Spain. And the good people's computers who had been lashed to that zombie army have now been freed from it and are no longer part of a huge criminal enterprise. And the last one I'll mention is, this past week, for the first time since Congress passed a statute making it a crime in the United States to engage in female genital mutilation, to mutilate little girls. It's been a felony in the United States since 1996. We made the first case last week against doctors in Michigan for doing this terrifying thing to young girls all across the country. With our partners in the Department of Homeland Security, we brought a case against 2 doctors for doing this to children. This is among the most important work we do, protecting kids especially, and it was done by great work that you don't hear about a whole lot all across the country by the FBI. It is the honor of my life. I know you look at me like I'm crazy for saying this about this job. I love this work. I love this job. And I love it because of the mission and the people I get to work with. Some of whose work I just illustrated by pulling those 3 cases from last month, but it goes on all the time, all around the country, and we're safer for it. I love representing these people, speaking on their behalf, and I look forward to your questions today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And thank you for your opening statement.